Hello, my name's Juliana, and thank you for joining my journey. Today, I have a bunch of old candles with the smallest amount of wax left in them. I'm hoping to melt down the wax and clean out the jars in order to see what else the jars can be used for around my house and to make a brand new candle with the combination of all the wax that's left over. Today, we're trying two different methods, one with the kettle and one with the pot on the stove. For the pot on the stove, we are filling the pot with water and allowing it to boil, placing our candles jars directly into the water to act as a double boiler. For the kettle, we are boiling water to pour directly into the candles to allow the wax to separate. Here I'm just prepping my new candle for the Mosh Posh combination of wax that we will be melting. I love using the straw method to help me with the wick to reach further down and connect it to the sticker at the bottom of the jar. And now we wait. Here you see the separation as well as the melting that's happening in our two different methods. Excuse my shaky hand, but I thought this separation was really cool. Now that our wax has had time to melt, we're going to pour it into our double boiler for later use. The glass is hot, so please wear protective gear. I did have a little issues because the glass is hot and I wanted to preserve the wax to use in a new candle later. Although it was a little messy, you see here I dropped the entire jar. I do prefer this method to the kettle method because it was a bit quicker. Here you see both of the candles wax in the double boiler that we're placing back into the water to remelt and combine for later use. Although the kettle method wasn't totally done, here I am separating the wax from the edges of the jar to hopefully avoid any mess later during transfer. The cleaning is what took the most amount of time for either method, whether you use the kettle or the pot on the stove. However, I found that a disinfectant wipe removed any excess wax from the jar. Goo Gone helped to remove any labels or stickers from the wicks at the bottom of the jars, and then just a final wash with soap and water like any other dish to be sure that it was properly cleaned. Once the wax was fully separated and the water was cooled from the kettle method, we separated the wax from the jars as you see here. Transferring this wax into the double boiler was not necessary, however I wanted to avoid as much waste as possible and I hope to create a new candle with the reused wax. But you could skip this step entirely if you wanted to just reuse the candles. Here you see the wax in those store-bought candles separated more easily than my homemade candles. I'm not sure if this speaks to the ingredients used, but I thought it was worth noting. Now everything goes back into the double boiler to be melted down and fully combined to create a new candle as we continue cleaning the jars for other use around our house. Once again, just a paper towel or disinfectant wipe to clean out any excess wax, Goo Gone for the labels and the stickers if necessary, and a final wash with soap and water. Here I realized that the combination of wax we melted from the candles from today was just going to be too much for one candle, so we will actually be making two combination candles. As we wait for our wax to melt and our jars are ready for pouring, a few of the things we can use our new jars for are cotton balls, toothpicks, cotton swabs like Q-tips, or a variety of other things like jewelry or knickknacks to hold your personal belongings. The possibilities are endless. Now that our wax is melted, we just need to wait for it to cool. All in all, I thought both methods were an effective way of melting your wax and being able to reuse the jars for other things around the house. Both were equal in the amount of time and effort it took to clean the jars afterwards. However, I thought that the boiling pot of water on the stove was a quicker method in melting the wax. Here's the excess wicks to be discarded. And there you have it. Thank you and happy growing!